June 28, 1999, Major Padmapani Acharya was killed in the Kargil war. A huge crowd thronged the residence of Major Padmapani Acharya at Hastinapuram near Vanasthalipuram in Hyderabad. His mother Vimala Acharya was a picture of strength. His wife Charulatha Acharya, who was expecting their baby, was depressed definitely. But today, 20 years later, I visited the family once again and there was joy in the family. The grief was definitely there. The mother has aged and the child that was born, Aparajita, she is now 20 years old and she's brought out a book on her father. I see happiness in the family and I see pride in the family. The one thing that the family says is, he gave up his life for the country. What more do we want? We are happy because he has protected India. That's the mood prevailing in the house, and you will watch me speak to the mother, the wife and the daughter. Such a delight meeting you, and daughter of a martyr, Kargil martyr, who inspired an entire country, an entire generation. Such a thrill and joy meeting you. Aparajita, what do you know about Dad?
I think it's like a beautiful story that has sort of been engraved into my memory and my life since childhood. After the book especially, I know how he was right from the stage of, I know his story right from when he was a child, to when he was in college, to when he joined academy, how he was as a cadet training, to him as a young officer, and to become what he eventually became, a Mahavir.
You were born after he was martyred, months later. When did you actually get to know how Dad lived and how Major Padmapani Acharya died?
For as long as my memory takes me, as long as I started to remember things, my grandmother was very honest with me. They never lied. They just very normally told me, you have a father and he's no more, but you should know he is a hero. So he's martyred and he sacrificed his life for the nation. So there was never any, it was not like some particular day I sat down and the truth was told to me. It was something I grew up watching. I used to see people come home. I used to see my grandparents talk, and I was with them. So I myself spoke to the media sometimes. I was very small. I don't really remember much, but I always knew, knowing that he martyred in the Kargil war. And that was why my first essay ever was in UKG. I wrote for my school magazine, and the essay was titled "My Daddy, My Hero." So I think.
Do you remember what you wrote?
I have it written somewhere. I wrote that my name is Aparajita, my father, his name is Major Padmapani Acharya. He was given the Mahavir Chakra posthumously, and he fought for the nation. He died in the Kargil war. He's my hero, and I hope I'm able to join. I hope I'm able to follow his footsteps. That's what I did.
Right. Your grandmother, Vimala Acharya, was a very brave woman. I met her at that time when Major Padmapani Acharya was martyred. In this very house I came and spent time with her, and also grandfather Charulatha Acharya. But the way she spoke at that time, it was terrific. It was an inspiring talk for an entire country and an entire generation also. Now, what did she describe your father as? If she herself was such a brave woman who said, I'm proud that my son laid down his life for the country. I'm grieved, yes, but I'm not mourning. This is what she told me, and I remember this very clearly. How would you describe your grandma?
highly patriotic streak and the bravery, probably if it exists, comes from her. She is the fierce one in the pack, I can say. She has always been someone who has voiced her opinion. And that's what ensured that every person in my house could voice their opinion. And she is always so patriotic, so passionate. And if a mother has such confidence, I know a lot of people, my own friends said that, yeah, we want to join the army, but our mother says, no, you are the only one I have. And it's only normal for mothers to face that kind of fear. But for her to say that, set such an example, that this is the time for us to feel proud. We are not going to get dejected. And she told my family that, the family of a soldier never cries, because a soldier never dies. So it's very deep. And I think probably the way she handled herself and she made us view it is the way that sort of made us a little stronger in living in such a life.
Was there a time when you brooded over your dad's death?
For me, I sort of grew up with the fact. So growing up, I never really met him to sort of miss his presence. I felt his absence sometimes, but I don't think there was a specific period of brooding, because my family, I was born just 3 months post his martyrdom, but they handled themselves so well. So my family just came together and decided that this child has to have a perfectly normal childhood. So I remember running around in I can say a happy household, where people, are smiling because they don't want this child to wonder why is everybody so sad. And it's been like that. Yes, we have had our moments, people have seen tears, and there are times where you feel very bad, days that you just don't feel like talking, but eventually you have to bundle that all up and face what comes ahead.
Your mother also was a picture of great strength and poise. How did she bring you up?
I think for a lot of time she did not talk to the media or anything. She just focused on me, on growing up. I used to come back from school. She sat down with me, to pay and keep me occupied, and she never really let her grief get to me, because it's very easy, sometimes you can't really, between a mother and child, you can't really hide what you're feeling. For a long time she's been very brave. I remember for many years I'd never seen her cry. So that's a very big thing, I feel, for the loss that she had. And she's always been a big support. Whatever I ever asked or wanted, she's always been very supportive of that. In fact, the day we decided, the day I sat down and spoke to the family and said, the book, why don't we, make a book? I know it's a very big thing for her, but she was the one who took out his uniform, ensured that she took out things. My grandmother had saved and kept them, but it takes a lot of guts to take it all out and decide, okay, we are going to do it.
Can you show me your book and explain a little bit about it?
So this is the coffee table book me and my family wrote. It's called Our Babu, the Hero of Class. It's about Major Padmapani Acharya. What you see is the last picture that was taken. This is how he was when he went to war. This is Major Padmapani Acharya, as we know him last. But this is a picture of him taken just after he commissioned from the academy. Just when he was commissioned as an officer. This was his first photograph.
This also is the most popular picture that one has come across.
Yes. Very handsome with that moustache. So you can just see a difference. Here there's so much, so many plans, excitement. You're looking forward. There's so much enthusiasm. It's just so young. This is young too, but there's realization in these eyes. You can see there is more responsibility over here. So somewhere the picture just talks to you first. And the book is divided into chapters. It starts with his childhood.
What made you think about coming up with this book?
Actually, people used to come home and they wanted to see photographs, they wanted to see letters. We just thought, it's every time taking these letters out, they're old and it's going to cause a certain ache again, feeling them. So we just thought, why don't we compile everything into a book. Keep a few books here, and whenever people come home and are curious to know about him, they can flip through. One thing led to the other. Once you started making, and once we started asking people, okay, we are bringing together this book. Do you have any photographs? Do you have any stories? People just got so excited and they wrote so beautifully that when we started to put together a story, we realized that what have we made? This is something people might enjoy reading.
Correct.
So we put his letters, and he used to write so well. So this was something we thought that people would enjoy.
Yes, and his last letter was so popular. Do you have that in here?
I have his last letter and some other letters too. Letters, a few letters before that too. A lot of his letters are there in there. So, and he wrote it in such good handwriting and with such beautiful choice of words that it's so beautiful to read.
Could you be able to show me the last letter? That very, very famous letter. Which one?
It's the one. This. Dear Papa, hope this letter finds you in the best of health and spirits. Thanks for your letter and card dated 14 June 99. I think you are right about. He does appear to be from the Lubetex. Dublu must be fine, or else I would have come to know. We must understand that he would also be quite busy preparing for their share of the game. We are also already getting ready for our next task. Our unit now has to live up to the higher expectations of the army, regiment, as well as the media. You know what? Even the chief sent a letter of congratulations to the unit. It was indeed an honor for our unit to have been given such a task. Hard work and a sound ethos does have its merit, don't you think? Now we have to work harder to preserve the hopes and aspirations of our well-wishers. Please don't worry about casualties. It's a professional hazard which is beyond our control. So why worry? At least it's for a good cause. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna briefs Arjuna on the following lines: Hatavo prapyasi swargam, jitva va ukshityase mahim. Tadutisht kauteya, yudhvara kriti nishchaya. No, we are not meant, but food is good, and we have a Bengali doctor, if not Chinese. Yes, the PM's Kargil visit was a good motivation. Good chap. I'm quite a sight now with an unkempt beard and Vaseline cream all over my ugly face to counter the icy winds. Happy and so funny, and I don't think if I was in a situation with so much fear, with so much tension, that I would be able to write like that. I think it's a gift. And I think it's a lot of maturity and responsibility that you do not want something like that to get to your family. You want them to think everything's okay.
You must have read all the other letters too. What nature of his do you grasp from all those things, all those letters?
I think he doesn't run away from his responsibility or search for excuses. So at a given point of time, you can play multiple roles. He's doing his duty as a soldier, as an officer, but he's not forgotten his duty as a son, as a husband, as a father, as a brother. He's still writing to know, how is everything back home. And he as a person was a very jovial person. He used to crack these witty jokes, and he's still being the Bablu we know. He's cracking jokes, he's being so positive, and he's asking how is everyone at home. He remembers, he's keeping a check. Has this happened? Has that happened? And so I think today when we have our phones also, sometimes in college when I'm caught up in projects, I forget to call up and find out for a few days how are things at home. And it sort of makes me feel guilty that not just me, a lot of us are like that. Imagine if this man can take out time for his family when he's writing from the field where there's a situation of war, and he's able to take out those 5 minutes to write and find out. I don't think it's right of us to make that excuse. and embracing responsibilities. This is something I learned from him. Seeing the positive side in every challenge. He's still being so positive, and to keep that positivity alive in you is very important in face of problems.
What are you doing now?
I'm currently a law student. I just entered my third year. I study in Symbiosis Law School, Hyderabad.
Right. And then whatever you picked up from your dad's letters, they must be coming onto your mind in situations. Do you really take some kind of inspiration from all those words?
I'm very inspired by him. Does not mean I do not make mistakes or I don't have my moments of being a typical teenager or a young person who's a little careless about things, but there is a certain realization of that responsibility. I have always been it's expected out of him. People say that if he has inspired so many, he's your own father. Imagine how much he must have inspired you. So I think it sort of reminds me my responsibility towards the nation. I know I'm just a student, but I have certain responsibility towards the nation, and so there is a realization of that, and I hope I'm able to make him proud someday.
You chose to study law. What's the reason behind it?
It's a beautiful subject. It's a very noble subject. You're talking of justice. You're talking of how people can use the same books of knowledge to argue to different things. It consists of so many elements. You need to have a window of knowledge of almost everything, and that's extremely important. I find a passion for the subject. I've always loved debating. I've always loved debating with a solid proof, and that is what law is. And that is one of the reasons I chose this. It's actually a very positive thing I've seen. A lot of people actually are interested in joining the armed forces. I have seen army put in that kind of effort. Not just the army, the air force, the navy, the uniformed forces are putting in effort to say that this is not what you think it is. There is so much. They say no, life not ordinary, it's extraordinary. So I've seen a lot of young people show interest. The other day, somebody I know, he's like an elder brother to me. He's somebody who cleared his CA. He's somebody who cracked CLAT, got admission into the top NLUs. He was one of the top 20 rankers, and he left everything for the uniform and said, I don't want to pursue CA or law, I just want to join the armed forces. And I'm not saying that everybody should, but imagine somebody who has the capability and such a lucrative profession, and entry in such a lucrative profession, he's still choosing army. So I think it's wonderful that people now have that kind of knowledge and are willing to join the armed forces.
Back to the statement that you made a little while ago, there was happiness when you grew up, and your family made sure that you were happy all the time, and you didn't have to put up a sorrowful face at all. And it was a very genuine effort that your mother made, or your grandmother made, your family made. Really, but did anyone actually question you about why you're not feeling sad? Did you have to face certain questions like that any time?
People often used to sympathize. It's almost natural for people to feel bad. They used to wonder why I didn't feel that bad, or how a child used to, say something so heavy. You just ask, beta, what does your father do? And I used to just reply saying, yeah, he martyred in the Kargil war. And they couldn't take a child who of a certain age saying such a big line. They were taken aback. But eventually they realized that was how my family was, and they brought me up. People used to question, and I think eventually everybody understood that's how it is. I personally never got to meet him. Probably that is also one of the reasons. But I think it's because my family sort of dealt with it that way. They decided that, there is more to do than grieving. We have a responsibility as a family. So you are telling every martyr's family who's looking that, tomorrow a family must know that the families of other soldiers aren't crying, nor will we. we have to be strong. So I think it's that.
If today you got to know about somebody called Major Padmapani Acharya who laid down his life for the country in the Kargil war, would you have been keen on meeting him, forgetting the fact that he's your father now?
Absolutely. I think we are lucky that today we have social media, we have the internet, we can find out the location about anybody, get in touch with anybody we want. And I think I would have totally exercised that to meet people, especially in my city. I would really want to. And as you say that, there's so many people who reached out to me. They are young people there is a boy who writes Hindi poetry on Kargil heroes. He got in touch and said, I want to write a poem about sir. Can you tell me something about him? There is another young boy, again like in elder brother, call him Bhaiya. He paints portraits of Kargil heroes. He said, I want to paint a portrait of daddy, and he got in touch. So there are a lot of people who are actually getting in touch, and it's really nice to see how technology and social media and the awareness can cause that. So I was not his daughter, so I would for sure want to meet the family and know more about it.
I see Major Padmapani Acharya's uniform displayed here and everything that he had. It must have been a difficult decision to take to put them up here in the living room, because not many people would want to be looking at something that will bring back memories and bring tears. So this I see as a very brave act on your part. How did this decision come about?
Actually, it was very tough for my family. For them, it was a flashback of a lot of memories. I just said that I don't want to box things up. I do not want to box things up. I want people to come to see his uniform. There's so much. I want to show these things. I'm a proud daughter. We are a proud family. And we need to tell the story. And so we just sat down and we decided, okay, enough. We've put it in. We've taken our 18 years to handle our grief. Now it's time to tell the world our story. Let's not complain that the stories aren't known. Because if we don't tell our stories, nobody will. So we have to tell our story. So we just decided, and that's his uniform. This is his cross belt. The cross belt is normally it carries your regiment and the victories of your regiment. So that's his keycap. That's his nameplate. These are his medals, and the padded set of his medals.
This one.
And this is, again, we've put his medals out here, the Mahavir Chakra, the high altitude. This one's for 50 years of independence. That's the badge of sacrifice. This is his baton. Here again, your regiment insignia. This is his watch. Bhagavad Gita, because he believed a lot in Bhagavad Gita. This is his mouth organ. He used to play the mouth organ very well, and since his childhood he learnt it by ear. He just picked it up on his own and he was very good at it. So that's his mouth organ. This is his knife collection. That's his knife collection.
So this is his personal interest?
Yes, in a way. And these are this book was given to him after he commissioned from OTA. This was given to him. He was told to buy this book by CEO, and that's about it. That's our visitor's book. From the time of his martyrdom, a lot of people penned down. So India is proud to have such an officer, and on the face, Mr. Lord, losing him. May God bless him and his family. Dear Major, we moved with your sacrifice. Our hearts are filled with emotion and our voices choked. You inspired us. We promise and support Operation Vijay, and will see that your sacrifice has a powerful result. so many. I can't read Telugu. Otherwise, I would have. We will remain in our hearts as long as civilization exists. We won't let your sacrifice get wasted. We take you as a great leader and follow your ideas to achieve our goal. Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Tiger of the Tiger Hills, hero of the Indian pride. We are proud of him and his parents who dedicated their sons to the nation. We remember his sacrifice until our last breath. पिता के लिए अपना सर्व त्याग किए आपके परिवार से मिलकर हमें बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा मिली. बच्चों को भी देशभक्ति की भावना बढ़ाने के लिए हमारे जैसे अध्यापक के लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है. A lot of people wrote. That's the visitor's book.
Do people still come home to visit?
People do. People do come home. Some of them ensure they meet us on the anniversary of his martyrdom. They ensure that they come. Sometimes people just pop in after years. That's true.
But you do have some programs in his memory, isn't it?
Yes, we started a trust. My grandfather started a trust, and when he started it, I was not a major, but now I am, so I'm going to be one of the trustees. Big thing, big responsibility. It's called the Major Padmapani Acharya Foundation. We used to do a little bit of charity, whatever we could from it. But recently we have started conducting programs. We create all these awareness programs, go to various schools, and on the 21st of June we are conducting the first edition of our fundraiser event. It's called Naman a Tribute, and we are having his course-mates come down and tell us stories about him. And we are going to, all the money that we collect, we are going to give to the Armed Forces Welfare Fund. We are dealing with the Zilla Sainik Welfare Board, and we are trying to make our bit of contribution. So something or the other we are going to plan. Last year we had the book launch, so we hope to take forward his legacy and keep his memory alive.
Will that be an annual affair, or how's that you're conceiving?
It's our first edition, and we hope every year on his birthday we are able to do something. So yes, that will be our annual affair. That is one event that we are going to ensure that we do. We are going to make his birthday as memorable as it can be.
And there are programs that are organized in the colony also here at Hastinapur, isn't it? Hastinapur?
Yes, we have his statue. So we, on Kargil Divas or on the day of his martyrdom, we honor the statue. Everybody comes out. There's a school over here. So the students, they do a walk, they march. So they walk all the way to the community hall that's made on his name, and they click a picture right in front of our house. And you know, his story is told. And I think that's a very sweet thing, that the entire colony sort of tells every house, every child knows this story.
Are there times when you are overcome by the thoughts of your dad, even though you've not met him? Of course, the reason why I'm asking you this is to find out how you handle these thoughts yourself, because not everyone can help you in that. It is something that you internalize. And how do you do that?
I think even though I never personally met my father, there is a certain bond between a father and child that you can't really explain. That is beyond, mortal meeting. And because I grew up to hear so many of his stories, and people used to keep telling me you're so much like him, that eventually there is that bond that is created. I do not expect a third person to understand when I say I have conversations with my father. They will not understand what I mean. For me, there is an equation, there is a dialogue between me and my father that happens within myself. And there are times I often miss, I think, imagine if he was here, how it would have been, or things like that. But I think the most important thing to remember is I have to stay strong, not for me, but for my family. Because I feel the day I sort of break down will be the day I sort of, it won't, they've put in so much effort into, bringing me up. I don't want them to ever feel that they have done something less or what they have done isn't enough. So there is a lot of that dialogue, especially after the book. I got to know so much about him. It was a journey of discovering him in an entirely new way, and that has been tough. But I think it's one of those things that you have to keep reminding yourself that it's okay. It's for a greater cause, and I can't let this sort of get to me. I have my share of weak moments, but I ensure that those moments don't last for too long.
I think I'm asking a very difficult question, but would you someday project your dad on celluloid?
I honestly I want a story to be told to the world. I know a lot of people don't read books. They watch visual media as the biggest way you can tell a story. And I really wish someday we can make a documentary on him, or an autobiography, not an autobiography, sorry, a biography, a movie. But I do not at the cost of it compromising on the truth of the story. I think that is extremely important nowadays. Sometimes to tell the story to the world, you have to make certain changes in it, and I have to be very careful. But I hope a documentary someday I can make on my father. That's one of the plans. Yes.
And if you were to make this documentary, what all would you like to include in this?
I would like to include bits of people who know him talking, what he enjoyed to do, some of his scrapbooks or his books from childhood, and just talk about his story. Go to places he really loved going. Visit the Kargil Memorial, because that's very important. That's going to be a very important part. For us, for the first time being there, none of us have ever been there. So, and I really want to go there. So that's one of the things. To tell a story, and I don't want to make it. What people often do not understand is it's when they read the book also, it's not about him being a wonder boy at the age of 10 or 11. He was a normal 10 or 11-year-old boy. He was not a wonder boy. He was not a superhero, and it's not about heroic tales of him since childhood. It's not about that. It's about him being a very simple person, and he was not perfect as a person. None of us are. But you can choose to transform yourself in the face of such fear. The decisions you take are very important. To realize that, okay, I need to be there I need to do my duty as a soldier. It's an opportunity that I'm blessed with, to be able to fight for the nation. But to understand that my family can take care of itself. That is confidence, trust, and a very big responsibility and a big decision. So I think all these elements, and the documentary will have bits of him being who he is, a jovial, witty person, and somebody who just lived and enjoyed life.
Which means that it would make a lot of sense for you to actually go to Kargil?
Yes.
Will that be possible?
I want to. That is one of the things I have always wanted to do. I want to go to Kargil. I want to go to the National War Memorial now in Delhi. I want to go see. I really want to do this. I want to go to the regimental center. I want to see what they have. The plans that he made, the certain plans that he made. I want to see all that.
I spoke to Aparajita and she told me that she grew up as a happy child. You ensured that she was happy and not really sad because of her father's martyrdom. How did you raise this child in such a manner so as not to grieve over her father's death but be strong?
Actually, yes, I'm proud to be her mother. I'm not only proud to be Major Acharya's wife, I'm proud to be mother of Aparajita Acharya. Nowadays, she's grown up now, she's giving more strength to us. So that makes me feel that whatever effort or whatever, I will not say sacrifice, I don't like that word sacrifice, because no parents, sacrifice is not the word. I'm happy for adjusting or giving away certain things to raise her up with the support of the family. I will not take the credit to myself that I did individually. It's a support from my family, and I could raise such a strong girl.
I'd like to ask a very personal question, if you don't mind. The child was born 2-3 months later after Major Padmapani Acharya died. And you stayed with your in-laws family all these 20 years. Was there a time when you had to take a decision whether to be here or be separate, go back to your mother's house? Certainly, I'm sure this question did arise.
No.
I believe so. No.
Surprisingly, it never arose. It's not that I don't love my parental house. My mother, even my sister was understood my decision. They're always supportive towards me. They also never raised, no, why don't you come back? Nothing. Whenever like, yes. But this decision of staying separate or leaving this house never came to me, because this is my house. It's not rightfully I'm the daughter-in-law, nothing. I became a daughter of the house. I'm become part of the house. So that never arose that I have to leave this house and live separately. Even though I have my own house, still this is my house.
But to have this kind of philosophy, you must have, there would have been a lot of thoughts in your mind at that point of time. How did you arrive at this conclusion? I'm not disputing or saying that, questioning you as to why you stayed back. It's not that at
I
all.
understood.
But I would like to understand the thoughts that crossed your mind at that time.
See, for any person, the building, it doesn't make a home. Like, no, it's the people in that house make you feel wanted. And this house, my in-laws treated me like their other children. They never differentiated me. They'd be making any decision of their health, about renovating the house or any kind of thing, any kind of decision. I never been kept away. Even the small tradition followed in the house, they fought with all these pandits or anybody in the society. No, she is our daughter-in-law, she is our daughter. She have all the right to be part of it. She's no different for us. Anything in our house, any decision, I was always the first to be approached, and they also gave me a lot of independence. They never restricted me in my emotions or any kind of my behavior. They give me the liberty to think what right for me. So that love, that bond, that affection, that independency I got, that made me be in this house, my house.
So how was your relationship with your in-laws after your marriage?
Actually, after my marriage, in fact, I should say I bonded with my in-laws, including my parents' in-laws, his siblings, then more with him. I always used to be around them. I said, he's there, I should spend time. Because the family such used to laugh, used to argue, used to share everything together. There is no secret between any family members. Whether as a newcomer or new bride to this house, I also was involved. So that's kind of love it carried. So this 99 has not suddenly brought changes in our body. It is there from the day I got married and stepped into this house. So what you say that Mahavir Chakra or Martyr's wife, nothing has changed. Your family, what were 96, till now the same thing. That's why I want to convey the message to people. No money, no fame can bring you together. It's your basic emotional thing and your love for your family at the tough time or good time, it carried forward. Please, at any time, be with your family. Yes, every family have slight difference, but don't give up. Be with family. They'll support you. You love each other unconditionally. Don't expect to love each other with some benefits. Please, family is not a place, it's a business or anything. You expect each other to, I did this. Just love each other unconditionally. It's not your husband, your child is your family. It's your parents, your in-laws, your husband's siblings, your siblings, everybody is a family.
When was the first time you met Major Padmapani Acharya?
That is quite interesting, and now that we met, story has come a few years back. So we call it Jab we met story only, train story. So I was traveling from Jabalpur from my Bua's house to Chennai. and he did his course, and he was traveling from Jabalpur to Hyderabad. So the train doesn't stop in Warangal, so you have to get in Warangal. So I don't know Hindi that time, because even speaking, I cannot even speak one sentence of Hindi. I know what I know only is Tamil, and we were traveling in a second class compartment, not economy compartment, and a lot of unreserved people also were traveling. So along with me, my who was mom-in-law also was traveling. She's a very orthodox person. She will not eat anything cooked from outside. So the day night she had enough food. The next day morning she wanted a milk for her coffee. And I tried to walk from my compartment towards the pantry, but I saw a lot of people speaking loud Hindi and crowd. I got little scared. I'm basically a shy person from my childhood. I'll not open up immediately. I'll not approach people. So I was very, very shy. I don't know what to do. I just stepped out from my compartment. I heard this and I came back. I didn't notice some. Initially he was sitting there. Then he looked at me and asked me that, can I help you? I said, so little bit English I know, because he asked me in English. And then I said, my grandmother wants milk. But I'm scared, there's a lot of people around there and I don't know Hindi. He said, okay, I'll help you. So he went and got milk for her. Then that's the way we started communicating. You will not believe, till I got down, till I called him up next day, I didn't know that he is serving in Indian Army. They are not supposed to tell everybody. So I asked him the basic question. He said, no, I'm with the government. No, I'm okay for a government organization. That's it. I didn't know that he belongs to army, he's captain, nothing. Yes, I could make out from his personality, he's not regular government, something different. But that much knowledge I didn't have about armed forces, because nowadays everything is there and online, you can easily make out, no. But that time it's nothing much about, no. We just started a normal communication, like, where you from. Then you also know that no girl will tell about a secret to a stranger, and he also was not telling anything about him. Only thing, before getting, he said, this is my phone number. I know even you have your phone number, you will not share with me. So I have my phone number, you just go home, get down and call me that you reach safe. That's the thing. Then when I called up next day, and after that his mom asked that you have their phone at home. I said, no auntie, really I don't have. Luckily she speaks Tamil, so we converse mostly between each other in Tamil. Then I told her I don't have phone really at home. She said, can you call me whenever you want, you can call me. Then she said, like, he's interested in marrying you, then if your parents agree, then we'll go ahead. So that's how.
Were you taken by surprise when you heard this?
Yes, I was shocked. I was surprised also. I was a little bit happy that was a man's uncle. That is there, but.
And what did you do the very next thing after you heard this?
About.
Did you discuss?
Shocked. As is really, they said, yes, really he wants to. Then we'll talk to your parents, like, because he belongs to such an organization, they have to know the family also, keep the secret, because either you come through, know your family, friends, or now still also in any service, like kind of keeping their job. Any uniform person, when they choose a girl, they have to see the family also, and it's not finance, it's not anything else. There is no other connections.
So did you tell your parents about this?
No, I didn't. I was scared to tell my parents. I didn't know how they'll accept, because I was a very, very protected child. Like, my father never let me go out even after 6 o'clock, even neighbor's house. I was the most protected. We are 2 siblings, me and my younger sister. I was more than pampered, I should say. I was a protected child. So I was little hesitant to tell them. In between they got 2-3 proposals. That time, no, this, okay. Almost one person was willing to. Then slowly I told my sister. She could make her. I said, whom you are calling? Because I used to take her for a phone call, no. Then just within 1 week, before his parents could come and meet us, or we could come and meet them. This happened within that period, 1 week. So there also was telling him, is it okay? We don't mind going and talking to the girl's parents. It will be okay, because that your lifestyle is different. She should, because from south, people joining armed forces or girl getting married to armed forces person, it be a officer, it's a jawan, it's no difference. Like anybody, like, it's very tough. That time people didn't have that understanding. Worry like our daughter will be away all alone from the harassment. Then I slowly convinced my sister. Then my sister went and told my parents that she's not interested in the proposals or the groom we are seeing. She let us talk to them. So that's what. So I didn't tell my parents.
But let me ask you, what did you like about him?
I'll not say look, because look is there today and tomorrow it may changes. He have a very charming personality, He can talk to anybody about any topic and attract people. So maybe that is overall the way he maturely behaved, the way he spoke to a stranger girl, so much of dignity. That attracted me.
But you certainly would have asked at least later why he liked you.
I asked him. He said, I can see my mother's slight this thing in you. That's why I liked you.
Was it in terms of the way you looked or the way you
like
conducted
I say,
yourself?
Personality. Maybe since somewhere I felt that he is very attached to his mother. I said, I can see a little bit of quality of my mother in you.
And in that very first meeting?
Not later when everything went off well, we are about to get married. The engagement also he was not there because he had to join back, and that time from here to coming to Chennai also is difficult. You have only few trains. So after another 1 or 2 months when I spoke to him over the phone, and we never exchanged any letters or cards in between. He always said no. Things we get married, don't expect me to write a letter or send a card. So I also didn't write a letter to him or send a card. Some kind of trust.
But did it ever cross your mind when you got to know that he's an army person? Did you have a fair idea about what an army job meant really?
I didn't think. All moment I said, something made me attract towards him. I know that he's the person in my life. He's the right person, that's it. Nothing beyond that I thought about. Yes, my mom-in-law told me that when she came to meet me, she said everything is fine, but you should know his work nature. You should know before getting married, because after marriage you should not feel that we done something from you. Because since you don't have any different background, she said, even I faced it because she's also married an Air Force officer. She said, when I got married to him, even nobody was there to tell me what is the life about. At least I want to tell you that these are the things, you have to face. You should be mentally prepared and you should have a willpower to be part of that. In the same station, he may have to stay away in the night from the home. So all those things you have to understand. So she did brief me about his nature of work.
So it was a very conscious decision that you took?
Yes.
After getting to know everything about how life would turn out to be. But did you, at any point of time, did it cross your mind that one day he will be martyred for the country?
No, never thought. Yes, he will be martyred, but I know there's a risk in his job, but I never thought that he'll be martyred. One day I'll see, martyr's wife or martyr Major Acharya. I still pray now that no wife should face that, martyr's wife, but sadly it's happening. First of all, we didn't know as a family, he's in war zone, he's in action. Because his letter never mentioned that, yes, we know that he's in field, but not this kind of situation. When the first news of his unit officer, martyrdom, came in the TV, that's the time we came to know that he's in that area, his unit present there, like they are in action. Then so just one day before, the previous evening only, we went to temple and prayed that if all of them should be okay, not only my husband, the entire unit, everybody should come safe, everybody's life should be safe. Then next day morning, as usual, like my father-in-law left for his work, he was still working, so he left, and my elder sister-in-law is married, so she was in her house, and my younger one left for her work, and mom-in-law and me were at home because mommy also into social work, so that day she didn't have to go, so we were at home. She was just having a shower, and I was sitting next to the phone, and it was ringing. I picked up the phone. I said, "Hello, who's speaking?" Is it Major Acharya? I said, "Yes." Then who's speaking? I said, "This is Charulatha Acharya's wife." Okay. The lady put down the phone. I thought maybe because those times the landlines used to get often disconnected. Then again, after gap of 10 minutes, again got a call because still she was in the shower. I picked up the phone, and again a same sweet voice. Then she didn't put down the phone. Then my mother-in-law came out. I said, "Who is this?" I said, "Mommy, I don't know. The lady is calling. She's keep on asking about your son, like any wife that that respective purposes." I said, "Why she's asking about him?" The moment I said his wife, she's putting down the phone. So we're just taking it that phone call as a lighter way. Then again the phone rang. She said, "Okay, let me take this time." So she picked up the phone and I'm so and so speaking. Who's speaking? Then she said, "I'm mother." Then she told that we are sorry to inform you that. And by then she was just talking. Then we could hear that army vehicle coming. That a lot of people getting down. And between my father-in-law also walking in his office car. And everything together like something. Then because I thought maybe people out of concern, they want to come and say that don't worry, he'll be fine. Because a week before, one of the officers like working in DRDL, he's he's from army, he came and know his family and I thought maybe something like that. And my mother-in-law put down the phone. Because I was expecting, she slowly caught me down and gave me a glass of water. And then she broke the news that she didn't say my son. I said, "Mommy, who?" So he said, that's how it came to know.
How you remained strong when you heard the news. What gave you that kind of strength to remain so strong?
Actually, before he or she was the baby inside me, gave me a strength to overcome and look forward for something.
How did you overcome that grief?
When the baby comes out, come to this world, what should we name her? He or she name her? How to dress her up? How our life, my life will change looking after her. So that played in my mind. Yes, after some time, first thing when she or he come out, how to make her understand that he or she, the child father, where is my papa, where is my daddy, or where is my appa? If she asks that question, what I'm going to answer? How to tell the child he's a hero?
Aparajita, did you ever get to ask mom this question about dad?
Before I asked, I was told. Before the question even raised, as far as I knew, from the time I told from the time I know my father is martyred in the Kargil. I never got a chance to question because that's how it was. And And they were very blunt about it. They never softened it. They were very blunt about it.
Mom just used the word hero. Is dad your hero?
He is my hero.
And because of what qualities that you got to know through your mother about him?
Bravery and that softness that you still have, you know, the fulfilling your duty towards your role that is required, and I think just enjoying life, being as happy as you can.
Did he write any letter to you?
Yeah, after marriage, yes. After
Acha.
because we are together for a few months, because since the phone was here, every letter it used to be a one common letter for the entire family. Papa, Mummy and his sister and me and that Malika, so on. So the address thing towards me happened after January, 99 January, and he dropped me in Hyderabad and we went to field. Then the letters.
Last letter that he wrote
Yes.
was the most talked about letter in the country itself
Yes.
at that time, and there was no social media then. It's not that it could have become very popular because of social media, but that one letter with so much of strength, with so many words
Yes.
explained in detail, and also asking the family to be strong, saying that he's out of danger.
Yeah.
But when he himself said he was out of danger, did you take it literally, or were you aware that he probably was in a situation where it was not all going so very good?
Well, again, I get to know. I told him I'm not from his family. So that 2 years I was with him in the peace post. So I will not say literally we have taken, but I couldn't realize what it meant for us. For me, the prayer that everybody should be safe. He should be safe. Everybody should come back safe. That's the thing.
We actually didn't know he was at war.
That's what I told him.
We didn't know he was at war. Later, when the news about Gupta sir came, and then they realized, wait,
Because
we know
none
he's
is
forward
letter.
posting, but we didn't know he was in the heated part of the war, right at the front, you know. So we didn't know.
I got to know about his humor also from Aparajita, but you yourself would have
Oh God.
seen his humor.
His sense of humor is initially I couldn't, because again the language thing, but slowly I understood that what kind of humor he can crack a joke and make humor out of anything, any object or anybody, but harmless. He doesn't harm anybody or
It's something you yourself will laugh on.
yeah. He never talked negative about anybody or made fun of anybody or anything. It's just natural common joke which people not, even he jokes about in front of you, people not take it seriously or get hurt, because it's a very light form.
Did he also ever talk about the kind of work he was engaged in?
He never they're not supposed to, because they are by nature, the soldiers are not supposed to, or they never talk, not supposed to, they themselves never feel even the toughest of thing also, his letter that as Aparajita mentioned, in his letter also, the kind of place he stayed, it's one rock sitting on top of that, but he expresses as though the bed of flowers around him, so many luxury, comfortable place he's sitting. So that's the way that's the way most of the soldiers, they normally don't talk about their kind of nature, we did this, that and all.
We have read about him, and through army we also know how it all happened. But I would like to know from you what you learned about the incident.
About this instant,
Yeah.
see, first of all, sacrificing your life for the country itself is the most blessed thing. Everybody doesn't get to. So they cannot say they died, they sacrificed their life. And yes, this incident made me feel, if not Major Acharya, in this place, somebody else could have sacrificed their life, and their family also might be, their family also lost, they might be going through the same thing what I gone through. So I cannot say no, why my husband, why our family, why my child, why me. Being a soldier's wife, I should not think, I should not utter that word or think like that, like why me, my family.
She's saying namaste.
I am Sushil Rao, and I met you 20 years ago. I'm with the Times of India now. 20 years of Kargil, I've met the family. I met Major Padmapani Acharya's daughter and wife, and I'm meeting you now. You're a woman of strength.
No.
How is she now? How is she?
She's super strong.
Yeah.
She's just not talking as much, but
Ah,
she's the same. She's still remembers everything.
okay.
He was praising you, Ba. He was saying you were so strong that you created so much impact and you handled yourself very well. I said you are our hero.
Do you remember Kargil?
She does, she does.
She said. At that time, during Kargil, I came and met you.
No.
Amba? She remembers. Mother will never forget. And both my in-laws are so strong, and she's such a strong person. Even though Papa like himself, but emotionally she's very strong.
Do you love your grandmother?
Too much. I love the most.
Why do you love her so much?
She's my hero. She's brave, she's strong, she's fierce.
And she has given you a lot of strength also.
Of course, yeah, of course. She remembers you. And he's Mama's boy, my husband.
So this is Aparajita. She's given me a book that she's written on her father. And there she goes. She's written my name here. So I get to read everything that she possibly could put together about Major Padmapani Acharya, Kargil war hero. So Sushil and I am with Aparajita at her residence at Hastinapur.
Every year on Kargil Divas, a large crowd gathers at Hastinapuram in Hyderabad. At the statue of Major Padmapani Acharya, the gathering pays homage to the memory of the martyr, and they also show their love and respect to the family of the national hero. The national anthem is played and everyone feels the nationalistic spirit once again and they show their love for their country. This is a footage from the 2018 Kargil Divas celebrated at Hastinapuram. As the national anthem is played, let us all rise in respect for our country.